Hello, welcome to Discover with Korhan. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite trees and why it's my favorite tree. It's wintertime, so you're not going to be able to identify this tree by its leaves, although I have found some fallen leaves from this tree. So during the other months when it's warmer, this tree, it's got green leaves and they're a bit serrated on the edges. They're like a teardrop shape, and they've got these nice ribs on it. Now what this is a yellow birch tree. It has one of the most important roles, in my opinion, in our ecosystem. A lot of people have called this a pioneer tree. That's because in areas where the soil quality is very poor and there's not a lot of nitrates in it, this guy can thrive. So if you see a forest full of this tree, then you know you're in a place that doesn't have very good quality soil. So what happens, the life cycle of this tree starts out like any other as a seed. But as you can see here, it's got some crazy root structure. That's because as a seedling, it has a very hard time penetrating the soil. It's not a very strong tree. So you'll often see this tree wedged in between rocks or having a crazy structure like this, because it's got to work really hard to penetrate the soil. Once it does get a little bit older, and this one is starting to do it here, at about 50 years of age, it'll start to peel its bark. Now, when it does start to do that, it'll start looking very papery, and that's the classic papery birch that you normally see with the white bark and all that. It is actually extremely flammable. You can light a fire with that bark even if it's soaking wet, which if you are caught in the wild and you have nothing else with you, it's a really good resource to have around. But like I said, the fact that it grows in nutrient deficient soil, when this reaches about 100 to 200 years of age, it'll fall over and it'll actually become part of the soil composition, and it will add nitrates into the soil, making way for other trees. So after about 2 to 3 centuries, you'll no longer have trees like this. There'll be a few of them, but the forest will have been taken over by stronger trees that can utilize the strong nitrate, the newfound nitrates in the soil. So the other trees have an easy time taking over the land because, like I said, he's not a very strong tree. These guys lose their limbs all the time, and if another tree is competing with him, they're gonna win because they're much more robust in most cases. So I really love this tree, and I think we should plant them in areas where we don't have good soil because, you're gonna have a forest for a few centuries. It's gonna attract some nice wildlife. But after those 2 centuries, you're going to have some farmable land with good soil in it. And I think that's a tremendous thing. I think he does this world a great service. Thanks for listening.